In this step-by-step tutorial, I will teach you how to build a horizontal scroll timeline using Framer along with a content management system, or CMS. First, we'll start with setting up an environment. This will involve adding a frame on your canvas, and this shall be named as Sticky Parent. After creating this, dive into the Sticky Parent Frames property section where you need to adjust a few settings. Here, the position has to be marked as sticky, and the overflow should be set to visible to ensure seamless viewability. Once that's set, it's time to create a horizontal stack. Go inside the Sticky Parent and insert another frame, which you will title as Horizontal Scroll. The width must be set to fill, while the height of this frame should be stipulated as 100 veach. Also, remember to set the direction to horizontal and the overflow to hidden. Meanwhile, add a scroll trigger section to this frame. Moving on, let's create a CMS collection for your timeline events. This collection should ideally include fields for date, title, description, and image to give a complete picture of your timeline events. To make the timeline visually appealing and easy to consume, build a component for each item in your timeline. This can be done by using a container that contains a stack inside. Connect this container to your CMS collection mentioned earlier and go ahead to drag the CMS fields into the container. This component must then be added to your horizontal scroll frame. Do this by adding a component using the timeline item component that you have just created and placing it inside the horizontal scroll frame. Make sure you link this component to your CMS collection. Framer will then take over and automatically populate the horizontal scroll frame with your timeline items. The next big step involves applying a scroll animation. Select the horizontal scroll frame and head over to the effects panel where you will add a scroll transform. This will allow you to change the trigger to section in view, and here you will select the scroll trigger section you created earlier. For the animation to play out, adjustments are to be made to the from state and the to state of the transform. In the from state, set the opacity and scale to 0 or 1, depending on whether you want the items to fade in. Conversely, in the to state, both the opacity and scale should be set to 1. The to state's X offset should also be adjusted to an appropriate value, which will determine the horizontal scroll distance of the items. Additionally, the opacity and scale of the individual cards within the timeline component can be animated to make them fade in as they come into view. To tweak scroll speed, simply add a scroll speed effect to the horizontal scroll frame, which can independently control its speed differing from the rest of the page. And voila! You have crafted a horizontal scroll timeline in Framer with a CMS.